Hello everyone. I thought today I would talk about the mind, body, and spirit. So the compilation of all three of those things. But first, wanted to share with you my angel cards. So I used to have this angel outside and she got all cobwebby and things because I live in the country. So I thought, I'll bring her inside. So I thought I would choose a message for you. And it's funny because when I go to choose a message, I heard, no, not that one. So my hand grabbed two and I'm going to show them to you. So one is flexibility. So these angel cards are really nice. I like them. They're the first set of angel cards I ever saw. And at a friend's house, and then later on in my life, I found them at a discount store. So I bought them, and I really, really, really like them because it's just one word to give you an idea of what you could work on during the day, or maybe when you meditate at night before you go to sleep. It could be something you focus on. And the other one is joy. So I'm here to channel messages for you because my guides and Mother Earth are saying that I've been sedentary for far too long. So a lot of times when I have difficulties in my life, I just sit down and meditate because your mind will always show you the path that you are meant to go, and you're meant to pay attention to how it feels. Whew. So whenever I feel like I need to, connect with my viewers, or I want to put some messages out in the world, I make a video and I pay attention to how it makes me feel. It makes me feel really good, like I really, really like it. So we're here on this planet to connect with other people and help them rise above their current state of existence. And in the last couple months, I met a new group of people, and some people are handling their stuff, and other people are not really conscious. They're not aware of what they're creating, because everything that's around us we create, right? And then I heard, except for me, because I have had difficulties in the past, 6 months. And every time I check in to find out where they're coming from, I hear from my guides, oh, we created these for you. You like challenges. And it's true. I do like challenges, and I like to thrive. I don't like to be in survival mode, because survival mode indicates that you don't have a lot of joy going on in your life. So if you think about that, I'm here to remind you, you're watching this video so that you can be reminded of what brings you joy. So for example, if you're a viewer and you have cats and you really, really like the love that you receive from your cats or your pets, whatever pet you have, whenever you're feeling your emotions are nice and low, no, not nice, but low, like you're not feeling the joy, or you're not feeling abundance, or you're not feeling loved, they're saying, my guides, and ascended masters are saying that you're meant to go outside, or you're meant to connect with something that you really, really, really love. I heard them to pick another one for you, and they told me I'm a good listener today. So they said to dig deep in this. They're like, not that one. Oh, it's like that one? There's like, yeah, there's like a better one. There could be a better one. So if you're ever, out and about, or maybe you're at home, or you get this like a cryptic message in your mind, and you're thinking, where did that come from? Where did that thought come from? Whose is it? If it's a kind and gentle and persuasive thought, it's meant to guide you and they told me, I am holding on to one card, and they said, that's the one. So, okay, this is perfect, because this card says transformation. Now, there's an interesting shift going on in the planet right now. I'm currently reading a very interesting book called Telos, T-E-L-O-S. I'll post a picture of it on my Instagram and Facebook page so that you can see what it looks like. The author, I think, is Diane Robinson. I'm not sure. Anyways, I just downloaded it onto my phone. And then I read it whenever I have time. So I'll check I heard not to check the author, but you know me, I like to check. Diane Robbins. Okay, so D-I-A-N-N-E Robbins, with two B's. So Diane Robbins. So that book, Telos, T-E-L-O-S, is only available digitally. So I downloaded an app called Hoopla, and I downloaded it onto my phone and my iPad so I could read on my tablet. And whoa, it is really interesting because the part I'm in the book right now, it's towards the end. It's talking about the transformation of this planet. So Telos is an area that's beneath Mount Shasta in California. That's in the northern part of California. And it is a place where there are beings that live underground. They live underneath the surface of the planet, and they are filled with love and light, peace and perfection, and everything just flows really nice and easily, as opposed to some of the things that are happening on the surface of this planet: chaos, destruction, pollution. And then conversely, we also have the people who are the light workers. They're people, when I say light workers, it's a person or people, light workers, who bring light to living things on this planet. So if you're a Reiki practitioner, you know that, using your hands, you can direct energy to someone to release the darkness inside them, and that causes blocks in their life. And I hear my guides told me to tell you what I've done with my son. So when I received my Reiki master years ago, first people I worked on I did attunements on, so it's attuning them to the Reiki energy. My husband was the first one, and then two of my girlfriends, and then I did an attunement on my son. And that was years ago. So now my son is 15, and recently he was really frustrated with his life. And so I said to him, and I'd given him a Reiki level 2 attunement a while ago, and then he wanted a Reiki master attunement, so I did that. And he readily received it. He received it really well. However, he needed attunements several days in succession, just because he really wanted to amp up his vibration. He wanted to, I heard, become a master, have mastery in terms of energy. So lately he was really frustrated with his life, and he wanted me to fix it because, I'm his mom and I like to give him healings and everything. But after so many healings, it seemed like, there wasn't a lot that the energy I was giving him could shift for him. It had to come within himself. So when you take the Reiki 2 level, you learn how to give distance Reiki. You learn how to make a paper. You write on paper, and you Reiki the paper. So you make the paper, you hold it between your hands. And so I told him, list the things that you want in your life and put them on the paper. And then whenever you feel frustrated in your life, just Reiki that paper. So he did that. And it took several days for actually the energy to shift of what he was frustrated with. So he wanted to sell some things, and so he goes onto this marketplace, like on social media, and he lists the things. And nothing was selling. Well, I suggested him, visual things, make good pictures, but also make sure you have, abundance on that Reiki paper, so that when you actually want to release things to get better things in your life, there's like that flow, right? Letting go and bringing in. And he made a new sale. I think it was not yesterday, the day before, and it was like really fast. And he posted it within a couple of hours of him posting the ad. He had a buyer, and then he was really happy, and he was seeing how fast the shift was occurring for him. So I wanted to give him the opportunity to be able to shift that himself, so he could see the power lies within. And we all have that power. And even if you're not a Reiki person, if you're constantly thinking of how bad your life is, and you're not thinking of the good things that are in your life, or the good friends that you have, or how lucky you are to be in a home that's nice and warm, or how lucky you are to be in a place that's constantly warm, or you know where I'm going with this. So gratitude is you're meant to feel it here in your heart space, and you're meant to feel, wow, I'm just a lucky person. And if you are watching and you have children, I often look at my son, and I don't know if you've done this, but you look at your kid and you think, whoa, that's one cool human being. Because I find with the children on this planet now, their brains are much faster than brains have ever been. They're constantly curious. They love to create. They really thrive on positivity and good food and having a real conscious effort in creating what they want. And they're quick manifestors. So that can be a good and a bad thing, because if they're exposed to negativity in their lives, they'll see how easy it is to create negative energy or negative experiences in their life. And then conversely, if they are surrounded by positivity and they're redirected by someone, like my son is redirected by me to look at the positive and, look back at the past and see how far you've come and be grateful for the person you are right now. That's a really good idea. It's a good thing to do. So today we're talking about the mind, body, and spirit. So that's basically talking about the mind. So our mind has a lot to do with our spirit, because our spirit, we are all born in the likeness of God, and somewhere along the way, as we're living, we get lost and we forget how to be. We forget to live in love and light. And if we deal with difficult people, we forget that they are too children of love and light. However, they've lost their way. And often I'll see, when I'm dealing with people, I'll see why. Those of you watching, and if you know I'm a past life regression hypnotherapist, by taking that training and working with people to look into their past lives, I found that my psychic ability really got ramped up in terms of seeing past life or even present life issues that people have, which make them a difficult person. So if that difficult person has come into my life, I look into that relationship that I have with them, which is, I'll call it prickly. I'll look into it and I will see what lies beneath. That's my favorite. What lies beneath? My favorite 3 words. Because always on top of these prickly situations, there's always something that lies beneath, and often it's karmic. So that has to do with our spirit. Our spirit, we're born into another body. We didn't deal with the karma in past lives or other lives, and then we bring it into here. And, if you have a life that's really, really, really difficult, you don't have to, but it's a good idea. It's a good idea to look at that issue or those issues that have come into your life as karmic. So let's say you have, I keep hearing money issues. So you have money issues and nothing ever seems to work out and you can't get ahead. So you need to look back. So you go into a meditation, you ask yourself, show me the life or show me the circumstances that caused this concern. And then your mind will show you. And even if you don't see it, you might feel it. And then you'll see, who is this attached to? What am I to do to make my retribution for that? And how am I to release myself from that reoccurring pattern that just seems to be never changing? And so many people that I talk to, they think that they're stuck in the same pattern or the same role for their entire life. And that's absolutely not true. And spirit is my guides. They always correct me. Not spirit, we're guides. My guides are telling me to tell you that if and when you do you either reconnect with someone from your past and make amends with them, or you go forward in terms of spiritual advancement, material advancement, or any other kind of, like even a physical advancement, you want to change your body type, you want to change how you look. They said the moment you step into that, you're stepping into your power and you're realizing what you're really worth. And they're saying that everybody is worth abundance, and everybody is. They're saying, this is so cute. They're saying that everybody is worth their weight in gold. And when that comes from spirit, it just like warms my heart space, and it just makes me feel like, yeah, everybody has some worth, and everybody has something really good to share with the world. And it's that we're meant to focus on, instead of thinking of cutthroat competition, and I'm better than you, or I'm thinner than you, or I'm richer than you. Or that's not the way we're meant to evolve. We're meant to evolve in unison, like we're all meant to be equal. And they said we're equal in the eyes of God anyways. And so humanity has created this duality on this planet, and they said not really. They said spirit created the duality on this planet so they teach people how to be good people and to learn how to live in love and light despite the circumstances they may have been born into, because yes, that is karmic, because that means in a different life you were not a very nice person and you treated people not very well. So now you have the opportunity in this life to make up for those. So if you have difficult people entering your life, you'll find that you have something to learn from them. Like you can treat them with love and compassion, but you also have to stand up for yourself so that it's not like the same thing happening to you over and over again. For example, in the career that I had when I was teaching, I always had one person, one school, every school, there's always someone who is just trying to make my life difficult. And I don't like to make waves. I don't like to have confrontation or whatever. But when this happened in a new job that I had, I stood up for myself because I thought, if I don't stand up for myself, this is going to continue to happen to me everywhere I go. So I dealt with it in the way that I felt was in the best interest of everyone involved, not just me, but I'm going to call it shenanigans. So whenever shenanigans come into my life, I just walk away. I'm like, no, I don't need that. Because to me, it's just a waste of time because I want everyone to succeed. I want everybody to get what they want, and I want everyone to be, I don't know if I can say happy, but that's kind of the idea. Like when we can feel in our heart space that at the end of the day, we've done a good job. I think that's a great thing. So I wanted to tell you something that's been happening with my body. This is really interesting. So I talked to you, I believe it was in my last video on the body. I said there's some really cool things we can do with our minds, okay? So one thing you can do is if you get into a nice quiet space, you can ask your body to tell you what is going well with it and what is not going so well. So I always connect with my mind and say, okay, how many cancer cells do I have in my body? I have between 0 and 1%. That's pretty cool. So cancer cells just come from a toxic environment. Either it's a toxicity in your head, or you've stored toxins in your body, or you're in a toxic environment where they said radioelectric I can't even say this word. It's like some sort of frequency. Well, they said EMFs are not good for you too, but there's a different kind of frequency that causes cancer cells, and it says they're out in the ethers. So that's why I don't use a microwave, because I know microwaves are not good for you, and I don't use one. I never really have been a fan of microwave. I was when they first came out, but so you can do this thing. You can ask your body what percentage of whatever is going on in your body. Percentage of toxins in my body right now, 5%. So those numbers just come to me. I'm like a percentage person. I really like percents. I like numbers. I like all that stuff. And I taught my son, math means money. So you want to be good at math because you want to understand like calculations and exchange rates and things if you're buying things in different countries. And I think it's always good to do math because it keeps your brain active, right? And it makes it grow in a different way, even if you don't like math. So I use my mathematical mind, the percentage part, to tell me what's going on in my body. So one thing I really wanted to work on lately was body fat, because my body tends to put on fat and it doesn't really like to release it. And if you know anything about fat, you will know that your toxins are stored in your fat cells. So if you go on a cleanse, or if you go on a diet, or if you start to cut calories and you start to exercise, you might feel really gross, right? That's just because you've stirred up those toxins in your fat cells. They said, no, not really. Don't you just love it when I'm like coming up with this intellectual explanation? They're like, no. So they're saying that the toxins create diseases. So the more toxins you have in your body, especially in your cells, the more prone you will be to disease. And they said especially cancer. So if you go about cleaning out your body, you will have less toxic cells. Less toxic cells means less chance of getting sick. And the higher you vibrate, the less chance you have of getting sick. So here's an example. Oh, I'm supposed to finish up with what I was talking about. Sorry. So I was over 2 weeks ago. I was told by my Canada Food Guide to cut out all animal products and sugars. So I did that, and like one day I'd feel really good, the other day I'd feel really gross. One day I'd feel good, the other day I'd feel gross. And I also took warm lemon water in the morning, a 16-ounce cup with half a squeezed lemon in there. I use a citrus reamer, and then cold water and pour hot water over top. So warm water, drink that, and I wait 3 minutes, because that will help clean your liver. And if your liver is fatty, then it means that it can't actually process the fats coming into your body, and that's why you'll have extra weight. So sometimes I can see inside people's bodies, and I can see their livers and how it's got cut. I don't know if you've seen a piece of fat, like, on meat, that's kind of what it looks like. It's all bubbly and weird. And so those fat pockets like sit in and on the liver, and it literally stops the liver from functioning the way it should. Yeah, if you didn't know, I do body readings. I can look inside people's bodies and see what is right or wrong with them, but only if I'm given permission by that person. So I asked today what my body fat percentage was. And it's been sitting at 17% for quite a while. And now they told me it's fluctuating between 14 and 15%. So you can check in with your body to see things like that. And all it is connecting to your mind, right, in a meditation. And the more you do that, the more inclined you are to get insight into your own body and to see what's going wrong with it. So here's the example I wanted to talk about. The other day, I was like, oh, I'm getting a sore throat, and it's really weird. I had this dream that I had a life where I was a smoker. Or no, it wasn't me. So we have parallel lives, right? A parallel life is where you are in the current body you're in, and then you could be in another body at the same time, and you could be in another body over there at the same time. So in a past life regression, I got to see my parallel lives and just check in with them to make sure they're minding their own business, because they are supposed to. They're not allowed to interfere. But one of my parallel lives, she's a smoker, and she started smoking because she was stressed out in her marriage or relationship. And I woke up with a really sore throat. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I had to talk to her and say, first of all, I don't want to feel what you're feeling, because we are the same energy, right? Because it's like your soul, and your soul has like a person over there and this Karen person here, and then I have another person over there. So I said to her, I don't like smoking, and I just don't want to feel like I'm a smoker. And it hurt right here. It's like a sore throat. Now, a lot of people, if that happened to them, they would think, oh my God, I'm getting sick. I picked some sickness up. Maybe I work in a school with little kids and it's all their little germy hands or something like that. And while that could be, you could also look to other things that are causing that discomfort in your body. So I said to her, I don't want to feel what you're feeling. And I said, if you're smoking, like, stay away from me, because I don't like smoking. And actually, whenever I smell smoke on people, I actually get a sore throat. I'm really sensitive to smoke, secondhand smoke, firsthand smoke, sitting around smoke. Don't like it. That's cigarette smoke. Whew. So I cleared that. And then I woke up this morning with a sore throat again, but it was someone else. So I close my eyes and I connect with a person whose smoky aura that is. And I'll make a joke, and it's not smoky quartz. It's someone who's passed. I feel he was a smoker, and he really wants me to talk to someone about his point of view. And this is difficult because I know who it is, and I generally don't want to talk with this person because it's in a work environment where people aren't really, they're not there at work to hear what I have to say in terms of talking for those who have passed. So whatever, if the situation comes up, I'll do it, but other than that, I'm like, no, respect the boundaries. So that's another thing you can do if you're psychically inclined and you have people jumping into your body or even passing through. One of my clients had contacted me the other day and said, a client and a friend said, I was in this building and I felt like something go through my body, and I was like, oh, you had a ghost pass through your body. I think that's happened to me once. And they literally walk right through, and you could feel them pass through here, and then they go out the back. And it's weird. It feels like a whoosh, kind of like energy that goes through you. And she wanted to know. I was like, she wanted to know what that was. And I said, oh, that's just someone who was passing through. And when you're psychically sensitive, you can actually feel it. So if that's ever happened to you and it kind of weirded you and you're like, what is that? And that's what that was. But I tell them that they're not allowed to do that to me because that's trespassing. Respect my energy field. So like I hold them out to, out to my fingertips, like beyond the screen. So if that's something you've experienced, now you know how to deal with that. Now you know what it was, and now you know how to deal with it, and now you know not to let it happen to you, because it's just, you're meant to have those psychic boundaries and just eliminate any opportunity for them to do that to you. They usually just want your help, or they want to say hi, or they know that you're a light worker and that you could actually help them. All right, so if that's happened to you, well, just don't let it happen again, or be aware of what it is. And some buildings hold on to a lot more of that energy than others. So if you work, say, in a hospital, or you work in an old folks home where a lot of people pass away, that's a really abundant place for those sorts of energy. And as a light worker, you can absolutely help them cross over if they're stuck and they died. They didn't know they died, or they don't know how to get there. And I always tell them, so when you died, did you see that light? It's like, oh, did you see that light? And if you did, you were meant to go in there, because that's where we cross over into, like, the spiritual realm, right? And so if they don't, I'll just say, okay, well, see, there's a light up over there. When you're ready, I'll just cross you over. And, sometimes they say they want to go visit someone first. And it's I heard it's a real misnomer for the ghosts to go and visit, like, real life people who don't understand, because those people get scared. They get freaked out. They don't understand. They can't sleep. They have, like, stress, heart palpitations, all kinds of things, that because they are scared of the unknown. But so the ghosts don't understand that. And there's a difference between a ghost and a spirit. So a ghost is someone who, someone's energy, someone has died and their energy never left. So they're stuck here. And then when they cross over into the light, they become spirit, and they can always come back. I tell them, you can come back. You don't have to think that you're, not able to come back. We can come back and forth if we're spirit. So they find that's good news, because a lot of them think they want to stay back and talk to someone, because once they cross over, they'll never be allowed to come back. But that's not true. So I wanted to talk a bit more about transformation before I end this video. So this is a time of transformation on this planet, and we've had some very unpleasant weather patterns. And this book I was reading, Telos, in it they said that, and the name Adama came to me, who is one of the people who live there in that underground city underneath Mount Shasta, inside this planet. Adama said, and other speakers in that book said, that this is a time of transformation on the planet, and it really is a time where the darker energies are to turn to light. And once all the inhabitants on the surface of this planet are living in light, we'll have peace. We won't have wars anymore. We won't have destruction. We won't have pollution, all these things, because the technology is already out there, how to live a healthy, clean life. It just hasn't reached they said, the lay people. So the lay people are just the regular, everyday people. And all the secrets are kept by the powers that be, because if those secrets got out of how to, use the energy, excuse me, instead of fossil fuels, and to use things like that, we wouldn't have the problems that we currently have, where, we're ruled by the almighty dollar. And they said, don't say that. They just said the dollar. They don't like me to say almighty with the dollar. So there's, okay. So with the currency form in that whatever country that people are in, that's the form of payment system they use. But under the planet, they use energy as a form of payment, and everything is shared. And, they've tried to do that in some communities here on this planet, but, the human ego always gets in the way and messes it up. But that's one of the problems that we have, right? We have egos, and we have, this idea, oh my God, I'm better than this person or that person. But once you release those ideas, and how we are all to live in harmony and unison and light, and help each other, and just be good, just to be good, not because, you're going to be rewarded later on. The reward actually is right now. By being a good person, you'll feel good, and by feeling good, you'll look good, and by looking good, you'll be an inspiration to others. So it's really how you go about your life. Because when you make a change for the better, for the more positive, people notice. They ask, why are you so happy? Or why do you look so good? Or what's your secret for, the fountain of youth, or whatever. And it's just a really good way to live. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and my next video will be on the mind. Thanks for watching.